Good morning. Um, Happy Tuesday. Uh, Good morning, Susan. Any plans for outdoor or indoor yoga in person? I don't really have any plans at this point. I haven't heard anything back from the county, so I don't know what their plans are. I really don't know. And yeah, I really don't know. Everything's really up in the air with that. Um, I've been doing other things. I have other jobs that I've been doing to kind of fill my time when that hasn't been a thing. So I don't know if I'm going to. I don't even know if I'm going to be going back to anything like I was doing in terms of schedule and. Um, I was teaching almost like maybe 12 classes a week, which is a lot at certain times. And sometimes it wasn't as often as that. But uh, yeah, I'm probably not going to go back to that. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. Uh, Things change, right? It's been a year and a half, something like that. Uh, so we'll see. But I'll let you guys know if I hear anything, when I hear anything. Um, Kind of thought that the county would have made some kind of announcement about what they're doing. Um, I think that the state of emergency is up in July, and that may change things. So it could be July when they think they're gonna start going. I don't know, but yeah, I really haven't heard anything. So um, I don't know because I feel like they would give people a little bit of notice before they did that. But then again, who knows? This is the county we're talking about. It could anything could happen. So I will pass along any information when I get it. Um, so, uh, kind of a big storm last night. Didn't get, we got a fair amount of rain. Didn't really get too much thunder, but oh my goodness, so much lightning. I've never seen so much lightning. Last night, I was working on my computer and I was looking out the window that my chair faces, and I was just happened to be facing the right direction to see just the sky was just lit up for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that, just crazy. Um, so I don't know. It was not centered right over us. I'm thinking maybe south, somewhere around Middletown, probably was really getting dumped on. Um, so happy plants. And happy me because I don't have to go out and water everything. So that's good. Uh, yeah, Garfield Park. Oh yeah, so outdoor classes and Rockwood is offering yoga. Yeah, um, yeah. So outdoor stuff. Yeah, I think Garfield had spoken about doing some online or I'm sorry, outdoor yoga, and I think I sent you guys an email about that. And I think the consensus was there really wasn't any place at Garfield that wasn't either parking lot or or really nothing. There was not a lot. There wasn't kind of a big grassy place um, aside from like the baseball field or something. And yeah, so all right. Um, so yeah, I've been doing a lot of writing um, since since this whole thing has started. And that's something that I used to do a lot of. I used to do freelance writing, and I'm kind of getting back into that. So we'll see where that goes. I realize that um, I do like having income, right? I miss it when I don't have any. Um, but I also I'm not that interested in getting a full time job out of the house or anything like that. Um, just because my time is precious, and I am I'm fortunate to be able to make that choice. I'm not under the economic pressure that I have to work full time every single day. Um, and I have so many uh, things going on here that need to be done as well that I get to choose right where I put my time, which is a great position to be in. But it's also difficult. Have you ever been in that position where you have so many choices? It's hard to decide exactly which one you want to do. Oftentimes in our life, we are not given choices. We are told what we need to do, either literally told or our circumstances are such that um, we don't have any other options. Um, Legitimately, we are forced into a sort of a corner, and we kind of need to just go with it. Um, when you aren't in that position, it's very easy to do nothing because you feel, well, first of all, there's not the urgency to choose. And second of all, there's too many choices so that you feel like you're going to make the wrong one. So you don't make any choice at all, right? But we talked about this maybe yesterday or last week. The idea that not making a choice is making a choice. So you may think by not choosing to decide, you're leaving your options open, but in truth, all you're doing is procrastinating. And while you are procrastinating, opportunities are slipping away, doors are closing. Um, Nothing will last forever. The beautiful thing about the universe is that you are given options again and again and again. Um, we are constantly on this path to learn what we need to learn, the lessons that will move us forward in spirit, in knowledge, in understanding. But they don't last forever, right? You can't, the universe is only going to hold the door open for you for so long. And then it's going to move on, or someone else is going to step through the door, and then that'll be done. And that's okay because there'll be another option. So don't worry so much about these choices. I'm talking to myself now, right? Don't worry so much about these choices. If you don't make the right choice, you can always make another one. You aren't, even in a position where you think you are in a corner, you have other choices. Um, you may not see them now, and maybe you can't wait. You can't wait around for those choices. You need to act now. So act now, do it. But keep your eye open because there may be a better option down the line. There may be something more appropriate for you, something you enjoy more. What you're doing now may prepare you for that next option. This is something I think we need to really remember is that um, sometimes, and this is like sort of a funny quote that people say. It's sort of funny but sad, right? Uh, Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. And people make that like a joke, but it's absolutely true, right? You may not get what you want. And it could be because you don't have the experience to handle that position, to handle that choice. You're not ready, right? Maybe what you need to do is learn that you're not ready so that you can become ready. Maybe whatever it is you are going to do instead is going to prepare you for that next thing, for that dream job, for that um, whatever it is, right, that you are striving towards. Nothing is instant, nothing is easy. I was talking to my husband about this yesterday. One thing that I find so frustrating about things online, and I think a lot of times young people um, spend a lot of time watching things online, looking at things online, and much of what you see is the end result. There's not a lot of process. Um, there can't be, right? Everything online is quick and instant and, you know, shiny, and they don't show you what it took to get to that place. For example, with yoga, right? You'll see people doing fabulous yoga poses, um, doing things that they've taken years to perfect. And we conveniently sort of gloss over that part. Uh, people say, well, how long is it going to take me to do this? Or how, I don't know. And I don't even want to tell you if I did know, because I don't want to discourage you. Um, how long will it take if you don't even start? You'll never do it. But um, everything takes process, it takes preparation, it takes years of building on where you are to where you want to get. Um, Nothing is easy. And I remember my my dad used to tell me a story that I wanted to learn ice skating when I was just a kid, and I must have been, you know, 5 or 6, something like that. Um, I really wanted to ice skate because I saw Peggy Fleming in the Olympics, and I was so impressed. Oh my God, look at that, skating on the ice. I'm doing that. Well, as soon as I got on the ice and I fell down, that's it. I'm done. Well, that's not what she was doing. She didn't fall down on the ice. It wasn't cold. Like when I'm watching on TV, it wasn't cold. Nobody fell down. It wasn't hard. It didn't hurt myself when I fell down. Right? She didn't do that. Um, it's not fair, right? This isn't what I was signed up for. So I was done, right? I wanted the end result, but I didn't even understand what went into the beginning. And once I did, oh hell no, I don't want to do that. That's going to take me forever. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you realize, oh, I can't get this, that's okay. But understand there's nothing wrong with you. You're just at the beginning. They're at the end, or maybe they're only in the middle. Maybe there's more to come, right? Um, as they say in Pokemon, this is not even my final form, right? We are all evolving. We are actually changing into substantially different people every day, year, uh, decade, right? Um, they talk about how our it's oversimplified, but they say in a general way, our cells have completely changed every 7 years, right? So we are, for all intents and purposes, a completely unique and different individual every 7 years. Um, so they always say, try new foods, right? Do something different, because you may actually, enjoy some things that you didn't when you were younger. Um, it's kind of amazing, right? Our body builds itself new over the years. We need to think about that with our mind too, and our spirit and everything else. How are we going to stay put? How are we going to be stuck with these old ideas and old thoughts when our body is already moving on without us? Um, we're always in flux. Remember that. And don't get hung up um, with the idea that you need to be any particular place. You are right where you should be. There's a nice quote in The Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit book. No, it's not the Hobbit book. I don't know. I think it's the Lord of the Rings book. Gandalf, the wizard, says a wizard is never late. He's never early. He's always just on time, just as he means to be. I think I ruined that quote, but that's the idea, right? Is that only other people um, hold you to a timetable, right? Um, it's other people's schedule that you are trying to comply to. What's wrong with your own schedule? Um, couldn't you always just be on time? You're not running late. You're not too early. You are evolving and changing and becoming just who you are meant to be at just the right time. Um, don't be anxious. Um, don't worry about this. Right? We do. We all worry about this. You know, am I too slow? Am I shouldn't I have accomplished more by now? I'm not being productive enough. Um, or have I just jumped ahead and skipped a bunch of stuff? I mean, what um, why am I, and this is something people may experience as well, is that when they are working on something, they may actually be much better at it than some other people, and that can be a source of anxiety. Why is this so easy? Why am I not working as hard as other people? You know, it doesn't matter. Either way, we're going to find something to worry about. So, um, how about we don't? How about we just let ourselves off the hook with that, and just let you let your life unfold, and just be wherever you are today. Know that yesterday was something different, and tomorrow will be something different again. Um, but your life is unfolding just as it should. If you are staying present, if you are staying grounded in reality, right? Not stuck with an expectation that is unrealistic, or um, not based in fact, then you're okay. You are just functioning as you should. So don't let yourself be worried by that. All right. So I also didn't mention yesterday was the summer solstice. I think so. I don't know. Sometimes it's on different days. I think it was yesterday, um, which is kind of great. Um, it's always a an important time. Yoga. Well, I mean, one of the things we do in yoga is the sun salutations, right? And yoga practice is tied around the sun, the movements of the sun. So traditionally, practice would be in the morning, even as the sun rises, or even before the sun is rising. We are saluting the day, we're greeting the sun. And then evening practice would be maybe around sunset. Um, and when we certainly asana could be done then, but then meditation or anything like that is also keyed around those times. Chanting, mantra chanting, all of those things that people do in their practice is again keyed to the sun, the rise and the set. So it's a pretty important part of practice. It's a really important part of life, right? I mean, on a very basic level, it was the start and end of the day back before we had um, electric lights and the ability to kind of turn night into day, and extend our life cycle into a much longer um, kind of artificial daytime. Um, all right, so let's do some pranayama, um, just some breathing and sitting up. I want to work a little bit on. We've done this before, but it I don't think, it's something that you can do anytime. Um, and I think it's good to remember because I think I forget about it. And I know, I'm sure you guys do too. So, Agni Sara is this building, trying to build this heat in the abdominal area. Agni is that internal heat that kind of helps us process everything, not just your food, not just digestion. I mean, that's the most on its most basic level, but then we are also helping to digest information that we take in, um, which is funny, right? But we're learning this. Western medicine is learning how tied the gut and the activities of the gut and digestion are to other parts of your body, other systems of your body, and just the overall well being of your body. So if you aren't digesting, if you know having digestive issues, your whole body is under strain. Um, it is affecting all the other systems of your body. So getting your digestion under control and in a good way is helpful. So Agni Sara is kind of stimulating this. It's working through this abdominal area. We're moving the abdominal muscles um, to kind of get stuff moving down there. And there are some more advanced practices of this. We're not going to get into that. But if you've ever seen them, the Nolly, right? you, you can see people online doing this. It's kind of amazing where they kind of pull this whole abdominal area in, and then they use the abdominal muscles to kind of. It looks like it reminds me of a washing machine, right? Old washing machines with the um, I don't know what it was called. The thing in the center that spun around and churned everything. That's what this looks like, right? So they pull the abdominal muscles side to side and then roll. Wow, amazing stuff. But they are legitimately massaging, right, the internal organs with the musculature. Um, we don't need to go that far. You can if you want. It's a whole big practice and it's probably really good. You probably get some super duper abs like that. Um, but on a more maybe practical level for someone beginning, it's pretty simple. So when we're sitting here, and we'll do this first and then we'll do pranayama. We're going to bring in, kind of drawing in this lower belly. And it starts by doing mula bandha, right? So mula bandha is the bandhas are areas in the body. I know I've talked about this before, probably not for a long time. Bandhas are locks, what they call locks. And when we are doing our yoga practice, we're doing yoga practices, we are stirring up the energy in the body. We're bringing it up, but we're also locking it in, right? We're trying to keep it um, controlled in a way and in the body so it's not just getting kind of dissipated everywhere. We do this with the what we call the bandhas, the locks. Um, you don't have to you don't have to use them. I mean, nothing bad is going to happen to you if you don't, but it is a way to kind of improve your practice and to keep the energy more focused in the body. Um, the basic one is called Mula Bandha, which is the root lock, and you can feel this if you. So it's like the Kegel muscles, right? It's that area um, down by the groin where you say it's the same. It's the same feeling if you were to kind of like if you're trying to stop urination, that sort of clenching, but in a subtle way, right? We're not we're not doing that. It's a very subtle movement, and it can be difficult at first to even really isolate that and to kind of feel what you're doing. But um, that's Mula Bandha, and Mula Bandha is something you can do during your practice, during the asana. Um, it's kind of the next step after you've mastered the postures, after you've mastered holding the postures and you have the strength and the ease to sort of stand, let's say, in Warrior One without feeling like your body is completely like under strain and stress the whole time. Then the next step is maybe we do the Mula Bandha, right? The Mula Bandha, it engages um, that whole core area. So we're moving from there, and that has you kind of, everything kind of straightens up a little bit. Right? So we start with Mula Bandha. And as we are engaging that area, we're moving up so that the lower abs are being engaged. And then we're coming up to maybe around the belly button. Right? That's all getting engaged. And then we're drawing in. You can't really see, but you probably couldn't see. Let me see. You can't really see anyway, right? But you're coming to around your belly button here and then further up. So maybe up even here, right? All of this is engaged. And then relax. So the other thing about that that's a little unusual is as you're engaging this, you're exhaling. Right? So if you think about it, you're kind of squeezing like a tube of toothpaste, right? you're starting from the bottom and you're rolling up and the air is being expelled. Then as we release, air is coming back in. Right? So you could think of it like a tube of toothpaste. You could think of it like a bellows, right? Think of a bellows, that kind of funny thing that you used to have when you had like wood fireplaces. Maybe you still have one, I don't know. But you'd work it and it would be kind of squeezing and pressing air out. So you're sort of doing the same thing here with your body. So let's try that. We're sitting, taking a breath in on them. As we're exhaling through the nose, we're pulling in. And then releasing. So you can do that to maybe a count of, I don't know, 4 or 6, whatever you want to do. You don't want it to be a lot of strain. You don't want to be like, hold your breath, right? We're just trying to do it sort of in a natural way. And you could do this, maybe 10 times or so. Whatever you feel, if you haven't done this before or you don't have a lot of strength in the abs, 10 may be too much, maybe 5, right? Maybe you work your way up to 10. The important things for this are, and I probably should have said this before you did it, but if you've eaten a lot, don't do this. This is a gentle form and you're not going to hurt yourself or anything doing this, but you're going to be uncomfortable, right? If you have had something to eat recently, you'll feel that it's moving things around in kind of an uncomfortable way. So best on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning is ideal, right? Because it gets the digestive system moving so that we can to kind of facilitate elimination and getting things heated up for your first meal, ideally, right? But you could do it also later in the day if you have a time where have a few hours where you haven't eaten anything, your stomach feels light. That's the best time to sort of do it. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to your meals because it is about digesting everything. So on an empty stomach, you're going to think, well, what do I need that for? I haven't had anything to eat. Yeah, but you're priming the pump, right? You're stoking the fire, getting it ready for the things that you're going to be giving it. Um, could be food, could be um, activity. I mean, I find that Agni Sara can be really helpful if you're getting ready to do something, to read something, to study something. It is better than coffee, right? It wakes you up. It gets, kind of an alertness, I guess, to the body that I think is very helpful for that sort of thing. Um, so if you if you've done this for a while, if you find this, and this is absolutely can be a daily practice, um, you'll see you may be able to do more, right? You can draw in further. You can actually kind of suck this upper area up under your lungs, right? A little bit. Um, and the more you do this, the better, right? It's not, you're actually then able to expel more air and allow more to come in. Um, you can't go too far with this, right? It's fine. However you're doing. Um, but if you have a time, like if you're experiencing constipation or anything like that, this is a great time to do it. Um, if you've had, I often get into kind of an Agni Sar practice after the holidays, right? Or something when you've just been kind of eating just anything and things that maybe don't really agree with you that well, but you love them and you eat them, and even though you know you're going to suffer, or you just have been eating too much, right? It's just too much of everything. You feel just overloaded. Agni Sara, right, is a way to burn all of that trash, right, that you're storing in the body. Just burn it up. Um, and I think Agni Sara too is a really excellent practice for us as we get older, um, because all of our systems as we get older don't work quite as efficiently as they used to, right? You know this. I mean, when you get ill, right, it takes longer to get well. Um, you're not a kid anymore, as they say. And youth is wasted on the young, right? Now we could really use it, right? Now we know so much. We know so much more about what we need and what we don't need, and and maybe that's why, right? I mean, so we're older and wiser. We don't need all of the excess energy and excess um, good health that young people squander, right? Because they don't know what they're doing. They have to have that because they'd be in dire straits without it. We, on the other hand, are so smart. We have all of this experience. If we use it, right? If we remember it, um, we can use that knowledge. We can live a little more judiciously. We can eat more carefully. We can get more sleep. We can do the things that we need to do to support our body. Um, and when we don't, we have things like Agni Sara to help us kind of move through those difficult times. So there are other yogic practices too. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you can absolutely do a lot of reading online. Some of the stuff is kind of strange. There's some cleansing practices that involve swallowing um, fabric and then removing it. Um, that's not a practice I'm interested in, but I have heard about it. It is a kind of a physical way to clear what they call ama, which is toxins. So ama is sort of a byproduct of our body. It's not. It is a real thing, but it's also kind of a a vibrational thing, like an energy thing. But the ama, if in its physical form, is so if you've ever had a lot of coating of something on your tongue, um, that's ama, right? And you see it first thing in the morning, especially. but it's kind of a combination of mucus and dead skin and like all of the kind of leftover bits as your body's processing. So another part of kind of this Ayurvedic cleansing, which I mean, Agni Sara is definitely a practice for that. Pranayama is a practice for that, cleansing the internal body. Is tongue scraping, right? We're going all over the place today. We're just talking about all these different things, but tongue scraping is another good practice. I don't know if you've ever seen a tongue scraper. I'll bring one. I have one, and I should have brought it, but I didn't know we were going here today. But here we are. Sometimes these things lead to other things. So tongue scraper is a loop, kind of just a U-shaped piece of metal. Yeah, it's generally metal. I guess I've seen plastic ones, but I wouldn't recommend them. Stainless steel I've seen, but copper is a very traditional form for tongue scrapers. So it's just a loop, and it usually has a little handle or something on the end of it. And the idea is that you put that loop in your mouth as far back as you can, and then you pull, and it scrapes along. It's not sharp, right? It scrapes along the top of your tongue to remove any ama that is built up. So if you're like me, I produce this time of year a lot of like mucus, and I feel like I'm stuffed up a lot. I think it's a combination of pollen and different things like that. In the morning, frequently I do have this residue on my tongue, and you want to get that off. So it's first thing in the morning. Like, I mean, you jump out of bed, you get your tongue scraper, and you do that before you eat anything, before you drink anything, before you brush your teeth, anything. Nothing to disturb that. We don't want to bring the ama back into the body. We want to remove it. Obviously, you haven't been tongue scraping all these years. You're not going to die if you don't get the ama off your tongue every day. The idea is that it builds up, right? Over time, you are bringing, you're allowing this stuff. Your body's trying to kind of release this stuff, and you're just swallowing it right back in, or brushing it. And I know we in our Western practice is sort of to brush the tongue, which is the same idea, right? You're trying to brush the tongue and leave that off. Ayurveda, it serves a couple purposes. It's the ama, removing the ama, but also the idea of stimulating the taste buds and kind of getting yourself ready for your meal. So it's a way to stimulate the digestive system. Again, stimulate the salivary glands, stimulate the digestive juices, so that you are ready when that meal comes. So you can absolutely do this. If you want, you can get one. You can get them on Amazon, tongue scraper. You can see lots of videos on how to use it. uh, there's no real downside to it, but it's the idea of just removing this, and yeah. So there you go. So Agni Sara, maybe some tongue scraping. These are all good practices to kind of cleanse things out and kind of move things through the body. I think it's probably very helpful, especially this time of year, if you do have pollen or allergies. The other one, and let's just touch on this because we're talking about all the internal organs and different things today, is neti pot, right? If you don't have a neti pot, that's helpful as well. And really for this time of year, very good. If you have a lot of pollen or your sinuses are a problem for you, neti pot can really help. And it's just a little pot with a spout. that you close. Let me think. You put it in one, and then what it does is the water goes in through the sinuses and comes back out the other nostril. It sounds kind of weird, but it's okay. The things to remember with that are, first of all, boil your water. Um, People use distilled water. People use bottled water that they get in a in a jug. Distilled water is probably okay to use, but if you're using spring water or something, I would boil it. There's no downside to that. There have been incidences where people have used unclean water and had problems. You are introducing um, water into an area that is generally not meant to have water in there, right? On the long-term basis, um, you're bringing this stuff into your body, and if you're going to bring it in, you better make sure that it is very clean. So boil the water. Obviously, you don't use it boiling, but if you have like an electric kettle, and if you don't have an electric tea kettle, you should get one because it's so helpful for tea, for anything you want to do like that. You just plug it in. It takes like a minute or two to heat up. It's so fast. But with the neti pot, you could boil it, even just boil it the night before, and then use that water the next day because you know it's clean and it has, been cleaned, right? It is pre-boiled water. Um, or you could boil some water and keep it in a container for yourself, whatever. But definitely do that. Also, if you're not going to use just plain water, there are different types of salts that you can put in there. But I would recommend that you get salt that is specifically meant for neti pot. Using table salt, things like that, can be very drying, and it can actually inflame the nasal passages and sinus area. Um, because the pH balance is not great. The salt that you get from for the neti pots is like a combination. It's like salt and maybe some baking soda or something. It's less harsh, which is probably what you want to go for. But absolutely, it's great. It's kind of a mess. You can do it over a sink. I know people do it in the shower, which is also another good place to do it. So neti pot is kind of weird, but but good, and it's actually much more um, common than it used to be. Now you can buy them in Walgreens. I think they have them in Walgreens. So it's not even that out there as a practice anymore. Um, so give these things a try if you feel like you could use a little tuning up. Um, we're heading into summer, right? And really, in terms of cleansing the body, spring is really, and we're the end of spring, beginning of summer, so you could still get in under the wire here. But spring is the great time to do it because um, what we're trying to do is release the heaviness of the winter. So in an Ayurvedic uh, speaking, in the way we go through Ayurveda, um, winter is kind of a building. Um, it's kind of a building time, in that sense, as we're kind of trying to we're trying to keep the body warm, keep the body kind of comfortable, right? You're under a lot of stress in the winter, um, environmentally, right? It's cold. Um, that cold weather is hard on the body. Um, it's a time of sickness, right? I mean, there's a lot more, and I don't know, environmentally, there are probably reasons for this that I'm not aware, but I know like the low humidity has something to do with how germs and diseases are passed. There's more movement in the air. So these things pass easier and quicker in the winter. So you're really trying to protect sort of this fortress body in the winter, trying to take good care of it. You're giving it nice, warm, comfortable food. You're probably putting on a few pounds, right? Because you're just trying to stay warm and cozy and all this. Spring is a different time, right? In spring, we are releasing some of that stuff. And traditionally, spring in the olden days, spring was the starving time, right? Spring was the time where all of that food that you put away for the in the summer and fall to eat all winter was running out, and there wasn't much to eat at all. So you would start foraging, right? You'd get grass and branches and little, dandelion greens and all of these things, these bitter herbs and greens. You bring them because they're the first thing to eat. You eat those, and that stimulates your liver and kind of gets your digestion moving again, and cleanses the body in a way that you're really just stimulating the body to clean itself. So when you read about these people buying these products to cleanse their body, I'm going to do a cleanse and a juice cleanse or just this weird starving cleanse or I don't know what. Um, that's not necessary. None of those things are necessary. You can do this with your own body by, you know, eating the fresh greens, eating um, the bitter type of kale or um, arugula and frisee, like that really kind of bitterish green, dark green things. Um, you can eat less, right? Eat a little lighter in the spring, and of course, then in the summer, you're probably definitely going to because it's hot, and for the most part, people eat a bit less. I think in the hot weather, um, but spring is a great time to just kind of jumpstart that and try to release a lot of these things that have kind of built up on top of us all winter long. We're letting them go. We're gonna kind of let that go. So eating a little lighter, a little not so much heavy food, moving into some lighter things, some fruits and vegetables. Um, this is all very appropriate for this time of year, and yeah, it's uh, it's good to be able to follow these practices. Um, a lot of them make very intuitive sense with your body, and if you're listening, your body frequently starts craving these things at certain times. Um, we've lost some of that in our culture with this again like uh, 12-month a year food cycle where you can get a strawberry any time of the year. Um, you can get if you have a favorite food, you can get it any time. I'm not going to say it's good to eat, right? I don't know. A strawberry in February, I don't know where that's coming from, but it's not coming from around here. And uh, what has happened to it along the way, I cannot say. Um, so, trying to eat a little more seasonally. And it's just as simple as looking to see what's available in your area. We are very lucky because um, we are in a very moderate area, so there's actually a fair amount of fresh things available all year round. Not everything, but uh, those things that are available at a certain time that is the ideal time to be eating them. Um, I'm already really looking forward to peaches and the stone fruits and those things that come as winter, or I'm sorry, as summer moves on to us. I don't eat them any other time of the year because they are not good. I look at them in the store and I think it looks delicious, but I know, right, from experience that I've bought them. I bring them home. They're hard as rocks. They don't taste good. They never get ripe. They go from hard as a rock to rotten in a day. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And you, as in many things in life, um, the anticipation of these things is good for you. It's enjoyable, right? To know that you have this to look forward to. It's like a gift. To me, that is a gift that I get in the summer, that I can buy delicious, fresh peaches and those sorts of things in such a small time, which makes them so much more precious, right? Um, Everything has its season. And if we take advantage of them in that season, instead of trying to force them right into a place that they don't belong. Hey, look at this. We're coming full circle, guys. Uh, we are working on things in their own time. This is such a yogic idea, right? Don't try to force the reality of peaches on yourself in January or December or whatever, right? You're not facing reality. If you think you can eat a peach in December and it's going to be good, maybe you can get frozen peaches. They would still be good, but not as good for you. Fresh is best, right? What's your reality? The reality is this is what you have. This is your time frame, right? You should eat what you can find in this time frame and get ready for the next and the next and the next. Enjoy the best of what this time has to offer, whether it's the season, whether it's the food that's available in the season, whether it's your time of life, right? Every time of life has its own rewards and challenges. Make the most of that. Don't mourn what is gone or freak out about what is to come. Stay right here and enjoy what is good today. Okay. When are we going to do asana, guys? How about tomorrow? And we didn't even get to pranayama. Okay, so do some pranayama today. Just sit and breathe. Relax the shoulders. Let yourself fill that lung up or fill those lungs up. I hope you still have both. Okay, and then relax. Right. Give yourself 5 minutes of pranayama, and you'll be set. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I think it's going to rain. I was going to do some yard work, but it's actually pretty nice out. It's cool, but a little damp. So see what you can get done today, and try to enjoy the pleasant weather. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.